Will went to the car to get the other microphone, and I got this one to work. So that's good. I don't see him yet, but we are at the corner of Lido Beach, and we have our gear with some poles ready to rock and roll and some shrimp, and we're going to see what we can catch. And we'll probably be able to see the sunset too on the beach. So that'll be great. Sorry about that. Wait for Will to get back and then we'll get started. Oh, hey guys. Saw a couple more people pop on. We are live at Lido Beach in Sarasota, and Will ran to the car, but he'll be right back, and we are going to do some fishing right here on the beach. I'll show you here in just a minute. Check that out, guys. If you just got off work and you had a stressful day, here's a little here's a little relaxation for you while you wait. There he is. Yep.
Also, I found your towel in the parking lot. Somebody ran over it.
Oh, really?
Had tire marks right over the top of it. All right. So, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome back to Paradise. I don't know what y'all covered, but I'm sure probably plenty.
Nothing. I said, let's wait. If you just got off work, look at these waves while we wait for Will.
Yeah. So we're gonna let's just hold on to that so we can share it.
Okay.
So as you can see, we're on the beach. In particular, this is called Lido Beach. It's on Sarasota. We brought a few rods. Probably not gonna catch anything because check out the water conditions. They're not great. We got like a 15-mile-an-hour wind coming straight in, wow, right off the Gulf of America. And it's got the water a bit icky. Typically here it's really beautiful. But we're gonna take a couple of rods. We're gonna throw some shrimp on them. We're gonna send them out there. Let's see if we get a bite. And while we wait, let's hang out and talk. Hold that for a second. Did a bird come over here? I already had shrimp on this hook and it's gone. I got my bait stolen before we even casted it out there. Oh no, you talking.
I'll come to you, but you're the one who's talking. You need this on.
All right, hang tight. And also, we got people swimming right out here. What's the matter with them? Guys, you come to the beach like this, you know who's not way out there on a wavy day? The locals. They know better. I'm gonna come to you. All right. Okay. Now, here goes our second rig.
I don't think they're gonna be able to hear you unless you talk into this.
Somebody drop a comment. Can you hear me okay? Uh, this is our second rig that we're about to send out. I cheated a little bit. Those of you guys who really like to surf fish, you're probably gonna get aggravated now because I ain't really doing it right. We just put together a Carolina rig. Okay, he can hear me. Thanks, buddy. And we're just throwing out some frozen shrimp pieces. We got one out already. Oh, is that a bite? Or is that waves? I think it's on the rocks. Check it, Lucky. It's on the rocks. It's on the rocks. Hang on, guys. This sucker already washed up on the rocks. But this ain't gonna work. The second one's already in the rocks too. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. This ain't gonna work. See all that grass out there? Giant chunk of it. Alright, so guys, here's what we find. Here's what we find when you come on the beach on a super windy day. Check it out. That's not even the hook either. That's just the weights. So the moral of this story is there won't be any fishing on the beach this evening. So I'm gonna put this stuff back in the cart and let's just hang out and talk. We do have some stuff we can talk about here. So give me just a moment. Okay, guys, so here we are. Quick question for you. Last week, or last weekend rather, where we live, the weather was not great. So we were not able to do any fishing last weekend. And for us, that was kind of catastrophic. We didn't even know what to do with ourselves. And then we're like, okay, well, let's swim, hang out at the pool. Well, I couldn't do that because, again, it was a weather thing. So hope y'all had a better weekend than we did. What did you do?
It was Mother's Day.
That's right. It was Mother's Day, and we had intended to like be outside and do fun stuff for Mom here. And sorry, baby, she got a little shortchanged.
No.
But what'd y'all do? Tell me something cool. And while I wait for that, on our channel, one of the most successful videos that we've ever had was just a very simple, like 40-second long short that was about shark fishing on the beach. And in particular, it was about shark fishing on the beach with light tackle, which is ridiculously fun. If you've never caught a shark on light tackle, you hadn't lived yet. That's fun stuff. And in that video, all we did was we just sort of described the rig that we use for it. And I brought one with us today, knowing that we weren't most likely going to be using it out here tonight, but just thought we'd talk to you about how we set up a shark rig for light tackle. So let me grab it real quick.
We're sinking.
Yeah. My chair is about 6 inches deep in the sand now. So this is one of our rigs that we use for fishing sharks from land-based on the beach or in the surf. And I'll just describe it for you a little bit. I can't back up enough for you to see it. It's a pretty long rod. It is, if I remember right, I've had this rod for a few years now, so I'm having a little trouble remembering exactly. It's a 10-footer. It's a 10-foot medium heavy. It's rated for line, 50-pound line basically. And we've rigged it a little differently than that. As you see here, I have a Penn Battle 6000 on it. So this is not a huge reel. This is like a middle of the road kind of a reel. Doesn't have a whole lot of cranking power. So the rod, picks that up. Then I've actually spooled it with 80-pound braid, and I did that because in the state of Florida, we're required to use, if we are specifically targeting sharks from land-based, meaning from a beach or from a dock or from a pier or anything other than a boat, we're required to use at least 80-pound braid. So
that's interesting.
And then that braid, so what I want to sort of stress to you when we talk about catching big fish on light tackle, whether it's big redfish on a 5-foot rod or it's 6-foot sharks on a relatively light rig, it's all about everything works together, right? It's not about your hook or your leader or your line or your rod or your reel. It's about how all those things work together. So this rod is not particularly stout, right? It's only a medium heavy. And I select that on purpose because when I'm catching a little bit bigger shark, right, something's got to give. If everything is stiff, something's going to break. There's a saying about fishing gear: the stronger you get, the weaker your gear gets. The harder you pull, something's going to break, right? So I try to set everything up to where everything's got just a little bit of give. And we just got to be a little bit patient when we hook those bigger fish with it and not try to horse them boogers in. And to be clear, you're not going to catch a 10-foot hammer on this. You're not going to. When you get that bite, he's just going to break it, and that's the end of it. But I can't tell you how many 5, 6, 7-foot sharks we've caught on this exact rig, and it works beautifully for it. So we talked about the rod, 10-foot The reason we want that long rod on the beach, so that as we put it in the holder, and we've got the tip, the tip of the rod is now probably 12 feet high, and it helps us to keep that line above the waves. So that's the biggest reason for the long rod on the beach, in my opinion. It's not because this big long rod gives you extra power. It's about keeping the line up above the waves.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Okay. And then we talked about the reel, 6,000 series. Our other two shark setups do have a little bit bigger reel than this. One's got an 8,000 series, one's got a 10,000. And the real difference from a 6,000 to an 8,000 to a 10, 12, 14,000, they look the same. They're the same frame. They're the same spool, at least for most brands. Some are probably different. But the biggest difference is the gearing. So the higher the number, from 6,000 to 8,000, the difference there is that the 8,000 is a little bit lower gear. So you get a little more cranking power, and you get a little more drag. And what you lose in that is the cranking speed. Just like in your car, low gears, good for that out of the hole power, but it doesn't have any high end speed. Sorry, my chair is sinking in the sand. And then the 80-pound line, we talked about that. Now, the next piece of that is, I'm going to try to back this up where y'all can see it a little bit. Sorry, baby. You'll see that there's the braid, okay? And on the braid, we have a big old #1 snap swivel. And it's on there where it can move on that line. And the only thing that swivel's for is that holds our weight. So being on the beach here, I got the waves rolling up on my wheel now. Hold on, let me adjust this.
Yeah, go. Oh, God.
Little hook in your face. I got a keeper, guys. Look what I look. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so again, we're back to that snap swivel there. That's just free line. That is to hold our weight, and we're going to put a pyramid sinker on that, and it's going to vary based on the water conditions. Today the water's a little rough. I'd have a 4, maybe a 5-ounce pyramid sinker on there. Honestly, in this water, maybe even a Sputnik sinker with them funky wires that help dig it into the stand and keep it from just tumbling around. And it can move. So that allows as they pick up that bait, they don't immediately feel the weight of that big old lead on there, and they're less likely to drop it right away. Then after the swivel, you'll see I've got 2 red plastic beads on there. Those beads are there for one reason, because that braid is tied to a barrel swivel, and once I put that big old weight on there and it starts smacking down on that knot of the braid, that 5 ounces of lead hammering on that is going to destroy that knot. So we put a couple of beads on there, and as that weight bangs around, those beads are just protecting that knot. That's all they're there for, is to protect that knot. And then it goes to a barrel swivel. We want to have a swivel here because as this hook and bait, big old heavy weight on the bottom, and this bait's kind of drifting all around in the current, it's going to be spinning and twisting, and it'll twist your line to pieces. So we want to have a swivel that'll help alleviate some of that twist. Speaking of twist, after the swivel, now we get down to our leader. This is 100-pound wire. It's made by a company called AFV, I think, American Fishing Wire, I think is what it's called. Tooth-proof, they call it. And this wire, we use it for sharks. We use it when we go barracuda fishing. We use it even for kingfish, just a much smaller piece. It's awesome stuff. And if you can see this, I doubt you can. Let me, if I put my hand in front of you. You see how I attach it. That. This knot in the wire is called a haywire twist. Oh my God, my chair has sunk like a foot deep in the sand.
Remember when we were kids and we were afraid that quicksand was going to be a problem? I think it might be here.
I really thought quicksand was going to be a much bigger thing. Yeah. But this haywire twist right here is super awesome, guys. You don't have to use crimp fittings. You don't have to crimp wire. You can tie a wire just like this with a simple haywire twist. You can do it by hand with no tools. That'll be another episode where we'll teach you how to do a haywire twist, but that's what that is. And then we've got about a 3-foot long leader on it right now, and to another haywire twist to the business end of things. That is a 10-aught circle hook, and you know, can you go bigger? Sure, you can do a 14-aught, you can do a 20-aught, you can do whatever you want. But for us, and in our experience, that 10-aught, that's plenty to get it done with a 5, 6, 7-foot shot. That's all you need. That's a must-add if you care. This rig works really well for us. That rod, the other nice thing that long rod does is it does give you the ability to really sling that booger and get it out there. But typically what we do when we're shark fishing is I bring a kayak to the beach and I'll pedal the lines way out, 1/4 mile off the beach, drop the line or drop the bait out there and pedal back. It's the best way to do it. So
Yep. It's fun, super fun.
just thought we'd share some of this with you. And I'll tell you too, it doesn't have to be expensive, guys. This is not an expensive rig at all. This particular rod, I'm going to try to show you. You see there, that's Offshore Anglers, which if you know, that's Bass Pro's store brand. And one thing Bass Pro does a great job of is on their store brand stuff, the cost is usually very reasonable. I'm having trouble remembering because I've had this rod for 3 or 4 years now, but I think I bet I paid $100 for it. I know.
Oh man.
I don't think it was more than $100, maybe 110 max. Not expensive at all. And that reel, that's a Penn Battle. It's not an expensive reel. Probably you can buy that reel brand spanking new on Amazon or in any reputable bait shop, maybe somewhere in the neighborhood like $150. And then, you know, between braid and leader and tackle and all that, you can be shark fishing on the beach for, $300. You can be shark fishing
Not
all
bad.
in. Yeah. And it's fun stuff. So I got to show you something real quick. Check out my view while we're talking.
Yeah, let them see the sunset for people that don't have access to the beach.
I mean, I'm just saying, guys, that don't suck. So what'd y'all do this weekend? I know somebody's got some kind of cool story for us. Let's hear it. This guy's out here having a great time. He's hunting shells in the water line.
The waves are big today.
Yeah, for Southwest Florida, this is
these
a
are big
rough
for
day.
us.
Show you a little further down the beach here. It's kind of interesting too. Y'all see all
Oh,
these.
a fish just jumped. I don't know if you saw it or not, but right here on the shallow.
Did y'all see the fish jump? Well, daggone, that's going to give me the fever now. But all these resorts that y'all are seeing right here, these are all actually still closed from Hurricane. I don't know if it was Helene or Milton that did the most damage here. Probably Milton because it was all about the wind. But these poor places just got devastated.
Yeah, their whole first floors were filled to the ceiling with sand. I kept going, where are they going to put all of this sand that's up on the shore? I mean, it's inside all the first floors of a lot of places here in Sarasota. I couldn't wrap my mind around where all the sand was going to go. I know that sounds stupid, but it's just overwhelming.
It's crazy. It was like 5 feet deep inside all these
Yeah.
buildings, sand.
I mean, obviously, and then if you don't know, have these giant machines that sift the dirty hurricane sand. They put them, actually for Sarasota, they put them out on Coquina Beach. They had 2 or 3 or 4 huge, I'm sure they're millions of dollars machines, and the machine sorts the sand, cleans it out, and then they put it back on the beaches.
Right back on the beach.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know. I guess because I'm new to Florida, I had no idea. Like, what do we do with all this sand?
Look how pretty now, guys. The sun went behind a cloud. I'm gonna put that for a second.
Gosh, that's pretty.
I got the fever. Hang on.
We need that cloud to go away so we can really see a good sunset.
I did bring a 3-inch paddle tail. Let's see if anything will beat this. I don't know. There's so much grass in the water, but let's give it a shot. As soon as it hits the water, it's full of that stuff. That's not gonna work. That chair is sinking so much. So I tell you what, guys, can't fish. Conditions too ick. How about we just enjoy the sunset? How's that sound? You have your phone? You have your phone? Oh, got you.
The microphone immediately paired to mine when I went and looked.
Oh.
My phone was working, basically.
Okay.
So, you have your phone.
All right. That's why I bring my technical advisor here. She's like my own personal geek squad.
If you'll listen to the instructions I'm trying to give you, which you don't have the time.
Half? You mean I do half? If I'm doing half, man, I'm winning. How about y'all? Who's your geek squad? Who helps you with all your tech stuff? Let's see here.
Oh, those waves are so pretty.
So beautiful. Look at the birds there. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get to the comments here so we can take a look at what y'all got. Okay, so let's see here. Ralph Outdoors joined us from Quebec. Thanks for coming, Ralph. That's awesome. Welcome. Southwest Florida said, just missing one nice ice cold Corona with a lime. May or may not have a little cooler in the old beach cart here, bud. He said he fished in 30-mile-an-hour winds on Saturday. I bet that was super fun. And also, so like, if I remember right, I think you do quite a bit of your fishing over around Matlacha, don't you? Let me know on that. Aaron and I took a ride actually this weekend. We actually drove through Matlacha and been itching to get down there and fish. And
It looks juicy.
it does look juicy, but it also looks a little like tough. Like I was looking around trying to get my head around how to fish that, because the spots I was seeing looked pretty heavy in current, and it's like, man, that's gonna be a little rough in the kayak.
Hang on, guys. I'm gonna just take you
Oh
on
my
a
gosh.
quick little journey.
Oh yeah. Can you zoom in on that? This dude is feeling it. Let's see if I can zoom
Oh
in.
no.
Hang
Oh
on.
no.
Oh yeah, hold on.
I love it. I love the spice for life.
It won't zoom in. Oh yeah, there he goes. I got him zoomed in now. Check that out. He's feeling it, boys and girls. All right.
Back to the sunset. No. I love the energy so much.
He said Boca mainly, but I do fish down there here and there, down around Matlacha. I saw another video you posted the other day too that I forgot to mention. You were on the beach with your boys fishing. That was pretty awesome. I like that. My boys are old enough that they don't really want to go do stuff with Dad too much. That's all right though. I love them. They're on me. Okay, well, maybe that's enough of Cindy Lauper over here on the rocks. Let's get back to the sunset, shall we?
Okay. Adorable.
Dude, having a good old time. Derek said, getting his groove on.
The beach makes you feel it, you know?
Man, I wish I could fish. I'm wishing I was fishing. We're right here. I got gear right here in my hands. Can't do it.